Imagine this scene. Our hero is crawling through a very tight passageway. It's covered in dust and cobwebs, but he thinks he's finally found it after searching for so long. The tomb of the English Rosicrucian I.O. As he makes his way towards the end of the tunnel, he can see there's just a small layer of plaster. If he breaks through and he has found what he's been looking for, great treasures and wonderful secrets will be waiting for him. It just takes a few taps, and then blinding light shines through. He knows that this is the correct place. There is such a beautiful, strong light that he has to look away. This inner sun or eternal lamp has been set there and is part of the secrets of this sacred place. As he ventures forth into the vault, he can see that the room has got 7 walls, and each one of them is decorated beautifully with secret symbols. But he hasn't got time to marvel, because there's a whirring, clanking noise. Something is coming to life. Something is coming towards him. As it moves into the light, he can see a bronze figure, a clockwork man, an automaton. It's dressed in the armour of a knight and holds in its hand a mace as a weapon. It moves closer towards him and lifts the club above its metallic head, ready to strike. He covers his face in horror. Has his end actually come? But the strike wasn't aimed for him. It hits at the light, the eternal lamp, and smashes it, sending the whole room into darkness. This tale may sound like something out of an Indiana Jones film, but this and stories like this were very much in circulation in the British Isles during the 1600s. This is because the first Rosicrucian manifesto was published in 1614, and it had made its way to England. When it was read, it told a story of a secret group of mystical Christians and healers called the Rosicrucians, who had been refounded after they found the grave of their mystical, legendary original teacher, Christian Rosenkreuz. This tomb or vault contained in it all sorts of secrets, both scientific and magical. And using this knowledge, they were practicing a true path of Christianity, healing the sick for free, and developing themselves as protectors and as a form of goodness in the world. In this text, there were hints that one of those brothers, Frater I.O., had lived and died in England, and he too might have a tomb that could be found if you were to search correctly. The most common interpretation of the hidden sun, which actually does appear in the original Rosicrucian tomb, was mechanical. It was that there was some form of secret technology that we no longer had, that we might be able to learn from. A perpetual lamp or fire that you'd only put a small amount of fuel in, but somehow the way it burnt the fuel would allow it to recirculate. It'd be a bit like our dreams now of cold fusion. And this general sense that there was hidden technology from the past was also applied by most people to this robot man, the automaton. The truth is, there were all sorts of strange gadgets which were meant to be robot-like from Roman times onwards. Statues or figures that when you put a cup in it, the weight would make that cup move and wine would pour from the other hand, and then the weight of the wine would make the whole thing move so the wine was presented. These kind of clever contraptions. But could there be a more hermetic, hidden, mystical interpretation of what's being told here? You see, at the time, there were legends of supernatural animations. We know, for example, that Roger Bacon was said to have had heads that could talk. The same is true of Albertus Magnus. There were stories of other practitioners who had doves that could fly or figures that could play chess or read the future. Robert Fludd, who was said to be a Rosicrucian, he was known to have created an ox out of wood, and this ox could move like a real ox, a miniature version of the real thing, and it could fight. He even made a dragon that could breathe fire and fly that would fight with it in front of people. But what does this mean? If we actually look at the works of Robert Fludd, and here's one that has only just been translated, Mnemonic Methods, all is explained. In Mnemonic Methods, Robert Fludd actually describes how to make hermetic memory palaces. Palaces which have a power to them and can bring forth hidden abilities or supernatural influence. He talks about how in here you can create statues and bring them to life, how they can be animated. It's surprisingly overt, and the translator Paul Ferguson really does explain everything in the most beautiful detail. Those who have read the works of Franz Bardon will have an understanding of what bringing to life a statue within a memory palace could hint at in hermetic practice. And it seems possible that the whole Rosicrucian vault itself may be a hermetic memory palace. So if you want to learn more about these Rosicrucian robots, this is a work that you will find most interesting and valuable. But now we've explained the automaton destroying the eternal lamp, it still leaves the mystery of the lamp itself. What does that mean from a hermetic point of view? Once again, we can look to Franz Bardon for the answer. If you are a student of Franz Bardon, please look within the pages of Initiation into Hermetics, and you will see that he does describe how light can be produced. Indeed, bright enough to bring physical light in darkness so that someone could see. My name's Martin Folks, and I hope this video is of use to anyone looking to find hidden knowledge within themselves. Until next time, let's make every word, thought, and action count.